Hey, wait, what are you... Ah! Shit!
Hey everybody, welcome back to Devious Intent, the show all about spotlighting villains. I thought I would change it up a bit with this episode and take a look at an enemy type rather than a singular character. So, today we'll be looking at the Shibito from the Siren series. The Siren games are great, and the Shibito are one of the biggest reasons why. They're almost like zombies, but with a bunch of unique elements that keep them fresh and interesting. Now, this video will focus more on their Siren Blood Curse or New Translation counterparts. Seeing as it's a reimagining of the first game, they naturally share a lot of the same elements. Unfortunately, I won't be able to comment on their appearance in Forbidden Siren 2 because that game was never released in the United States. At some point down the line when I import it, I'll try to do a separate episode on its Shibito. They seem different enough to warrant another episode, but enough rambling. The Shibito are the product of a pissed off god that didn't get the sacrifices it wanted. In retaliation, it turns all water to blood in the village of Hanuda. This blood also begins to rain down over the village, reanimating corpses into Shibito, who then set out to convert the last of the village's population. The Shibito have one task, to build a giant nest to summon their god in. They're similar to ants since they operate as a collective with hive mind communication. But they aren't just brain dead like zombies. The Shibito function intelligently and have very interesting personalities. This is probably my favorite aspect of them. They'll take baths, watch TV, draw, or do some gardening, as if they're just going along with their normal lives, except with a newfound optimism. They're extremely happy to be dead. As they hunt you down, they'll laugh as if they're playing a game, and it's made all the creepier by their bizarre voices. It's almost like they're auto-tuned or something, and it really works. I especially like that they didn't redub their voices in English. It makes it authentic and a bit more off-kilter for someone like me. Because the Shibito are so intelligent, they'll obviously use weapons to help take you down. This doesn't just include melee weapons, but guns as well. I'm not sure why, but people have the idea stuck in their head that things instantly stop being scary once you give enemies guns. But that's not true. Games like Resident Evil 5 just don't handle it well at all. Oh, you mean turning the game into a cover shooter isn't scary? I would have never guessed. Siren Blood Curse, as well as the first game, use enemies with guns very sparingly and make them incredibly lethal. It's very nerve-wracking to know an enemy has a gun around you. They're usually used to block certain paths, forcing you to go another way. Because the Shibito aren't meant to be fought, they're meant to be avoided. And even if you do take one out, they're brought back to life after a short time. That's right, Shibito don't die. They'll keep coming back no matter how hard you hit them unless you're able to take out the Shibito brain that correlates with that area. These things have a different appearance for each area, which is really cool because it allows the designers to put a bunch of really interesting enemy designs in the game. This one's my favorite. Once you take one out, the Shibito in the area will all drop dead, taking a huge load off your back. But as the game goes along, the Shibito begin to evolve into radically different monsters. For example, they'll sprout wings from their heads and fly around areas, giving them a much greater chance of seeing you. Plus, they're annoyingly hard to hit when you don't have a gun. Another example would be the Maggot Shibito. Now, if you've played this game before, you know these things are absolutely insane. They're giant, ugly, nearly invincible, and can kill you almost instantly. They also have a habit of throwing things at you. Even the people you play as will show up as Shibito, and it's really disheartening to see. And I'll leave it at that, because I know I spoil every game I talk about on this show, but in this case, I don't really want to give away many spoilers. Even the game's mechanics serve to solidify the presence of the Shibito. One of the most useful abilities you have is called sight jacking, which lets you see through their eyes so you can sneak past them easier or find the location of an item you need. But I'd better end it here, because if I continue, I'll just be complimenting a bunch of the game's mechanics, and if I continue talking about the plot, it'll just end up being less about the Shibito and more about the god, which isn't my plan. So to sum things up, the Shibito are a wildly diverse and unique enemy type that provide many challenging scenarios for you to take on. They're unnerving, yet very interesting to watch and listen to. You'll probably stop yourself on multiple occasions just to watch one of them do something really unusual. But anyway, thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the video.
となしくしなさい。